Hey guys, today I want to talk about brassicas. Many years ago, I was working the Northeast Sportsman Show, and I was selling land, and I had a booth there. It was kind of quiet, and I looked over across the way, and there was a guy from Mossy Oak. I'd never heard of Mossy Oak before that, and so I moseyed over there, and I said, "Hey, what are you guys selling over here?" So he started explaining to me about how they're selling seeds for these plants that they developed in New Zealand for the sheep industry, and they're wonderful for deer. They attract a lot of deer and feed the hell out of them, and so they're selling these bags of seed. And I thought, man, that's a great idea. You know, taking something that was made for sheep and planting it was a terrific idea. So I started doing it, and I tried different things. I ended up figuring out what works, what doesn't work, what's better. Lately, some different seeds have come to the forefront because of the cover crop industry. Tillage radish is one of those. Tillage radish is a terrific brassica, and I have some other ones that I want to tell you about. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to tell you about the one brassica that is the king of all brassicas, in my opinion, for a number of reasons. But first, I'm going to take you on a tour of a not experimental, but a demo area that had a lot of mixes in it from a certain company that I won't name the company, but because I'm not selling anything, but I want to show you how their demo plots turned out and what I like and what I don't like about certain varieties. And then in the end, I'll show you my favorite brassica of all time. All right, stick around and enjoy the tour. This first mix is an oats and radish mix. Oats and radishes are used quite often in cover crops. And these are the radishes. I'm pretty sure that's a different kind of brassica there. This looks more like a radish, but this has chicory in it. Chicory did not make it in where it's thick, and this is all spring planted, so it doesn't look so good now that it's the beginning of September. Okay, this next one is purple top turnip, which are these dried out, eaten up ones. And turnips have a tendency in the summertime to get chewed on by insects. There's a leaf beetle that eats them. Where the hybrid brassicas, you can see how they remain pretty palatable throughout the summer. These were spring planted again. This looks like a rutabaga over here. That's pretty nice. Now, I would say that these are planted too crowded. If you were to thin these out a little bit, these actually look pretty darn good. As you can tell, we're right next to the highway, and there's probably not any deer coming in and eating off of this. This is a pure radish stand. Not looking too good by September. A lot of it's pretty much gone by. It's not real palatable. And that's why I always say to wait until September to plant. If you were planting radish right now, it would be perfect. With all the moisture we have, it would come up, and by hunting season, it would be great. This is a combination of hybrid rape, which, as you can see, looks pretty palatable yet, and some radish and turnip that don't look so good. This is a combination of what they call trophy rape, which I believe is a rape kale.
You said rape twice.
I like rape.
Crossbreed, that's probably it right there. Purple top turnips and daikon radish. And this has chicory in it, so the chicory out on the edges did pretty well. Okay, now here is a stand of turnips that I put in a couple weeks ago. So the last week of August, coming in pretty good, and by October 1st, when archery season opens, this is going to be a good spot. Might want to add a little rye next thunderstorm or some cereal grain on here, because the deer will probably come in and start hammering it. I don't see any browse pressure right now, but they'll be here. Okay, now it's time to show you the king of all brassicas, in my opinion. That's the collard. These are collards. You can see the size of these leaves. They're huge. I planted these in the spring. They still look great. I put some chicory in with them. And you can see that I have to go real light with these. They're so big. You know, there's one over there. These two plants are a foot away from each other, and they have full canopy. So you got to go easy on the seed. Now I'll show you a still picture of what this looked like before my wife made me cut them. And the other interesting thing about collards is, this is a good demonstration here. I cut this off at ground level. You can see the root here. It's about 1.5 inches across, and it sprouted here, here, almost like a tree. It root sprouted from the root collar. So this could handle a lot of grazing. Grew right back. They don't look anything like they did in the first place, but they grew pretty decent. The other thing about collards is that they're one of the most cold tolerant. Kale and collards are very cold tolerant. If you get some snow on these, yeah, that grew pretty good considering that I mowed it with a lawnmower. You get some snow on them and they'll last pretty much through the winter until the deer eat them all. So that's my pick for the best of the brassicas, the collards. And now that they're using them in cover crop mixes, they're more available, so they're not so expensive. Used to be they were too expensive to use, but I can get them in my mixes now. Okay, so in conclusion, my favorite brassicas are the hybrids. I've used hybrids for many, many years, and I can plant them in the spring, I can plant them in the fall. They always work, they stay palatable, deer love them. But now that collards are used in cover cropping, they're more available and cheaper, and that's by far my favorite of all the brassicas. So collards, the kale hybrids, the turnip rape hybrids, and tillage radish. Tillage radish is great because it's readily available everywhere, because farmers are using it for cover crops. And you can mix those in with cereal grains. You can use them as a nurse crop for next year's clover. If you want to plant clover, you can use cereal grain, brassica, clover, like a ladino and red together in the same mix, and then convert that over very easily in the spring to a pure clover plot using some maintenance. Okay, so that's about it for brassicas, and happy hunting this fall. It's almost hunting season. Can't wait. All right, see you on the next one. Be sure and hit the like and subscribe button and click on the bell so you'll be notified when there's a new video. And comment down below and let me know if there's anything you'd like to know more about.